Record. Hello and welcome to a new week of the Red, White, and Real podcast, Jared and Travis show where we talk about U.S. politics and other cultural news, just to let you know what's going on. What
Uh,
holiday you got today?
Today is International Day for the Right to the Truth Concerning Gross Human Rights Violations and for Dignity of Victims. It's a mouthful, and I don't know what the abbreviation would be. But I'm gonna be honest, how the options they have on here today, we don't have much.
Hey, it's National Cocktail Day. Get your drink on.
Get your drink on.
All right, little birthdays real quick before we do a quick moment of silence. We got today's birthday. We got you go first. You're the wrestler man.
I'm the wrestling fan, so yeah, let's talk about Undertaker, one of the best wrestlers of all time. Happy birthday to him.
You can't
He's
be that old,
actually
right?
he's not too old. Since he retired, he's doing a lot of like podcasts and stuff talking about the
Yeah.
business.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cool because he's been in it for so long, and he's not like Hulk Hogan or any of these other wrestlers who are either stupid or like brain dead at this point. He actually like can remember stories and
Yeah.
like he's functional, so that's really cool. And I know neither one of we're kind of football fans, so Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
happy birthday to him
Good
too.
old forehead man. Good old forehead quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, my grandma subscribed to our podcast
Oh,
yesterday
nice.
while I was there. She was like, "You guys like talk about politics and stuff. Can you get me subscribed?" I was like, "Perfect, yes."
Yes, word of mouth. Word of
Yeah,
mouth.
word
How
of
does she
mouth. We're
know?
getting there. We were talking about it. We went out there and played
Oh,
some Kismet games with her, and
okay.
Christina brought it up. Like, yeah, he talks politics with a friend. So, um, I'm gonna take the lead really on the first story. I just want to give a little bit of
Yep.
a shout out to Mia Love. She was our first black Republican woman elected to Congress. She died at the age of 49. I know yesterday they weren't releasing the cause of her death. She did die, succumb from her battle with brain cancer. So, just I know that there was some conspiracies going around yesterday. Always wanted to make it obvious, like, hey, conspiracy land, we don't play those games. Like, but I also want to give her a big shout out. She's going to go down in history just for being the first black Republican woman elected, and dying at 49 is just that's way too young. But so
100%.
shout out to her. Make sure if you see any rumors about her flying around on Twitter or Facebook or anything, make sure to let people know, like, no, this was not a conspiracy death by any means. This is people die. hate,
Yeah.
hate to be that person, but so shout out to her, and we will be giving shout outs to people like this.
Mhm.
We want to make sure that like conspiracies don't spread, especially in situations like that where someone important dies, and you
Yeah.
know that they don't want to make it a big deal. If they don't release the cause of death right away, everyone gets just
Oh,
up
yeah.
in
They're
arms about it.
always, especially in politics, they always just instantly go to the Clinton angle. They're like, oh, the Clintons had him
Yes.
eliminated. Like, it's like, no, she's been battling brain cancer since like 2014. Like,
It also never matters how far down like the totem pole they are. Like,
Yeah.
here's a person who did a story for like a local news agency on the Clintons, and they're like, and then he died in a car crash, and people are like, "Yep, must have been Hillary
Yep.
was driving the other car." It's
They
like,
ran him off the
no,
road. Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
ran them off the
no.
road. Like, it's like, don't look so deep into it.
No.
But I got a question for you.
Okay. Yeah.
Trump went to the NCAA wrestling championships. How do you feel about our
Yes.
president being like the face of every American like sporting event right now?
I love it because here's the thing, and here's why I kind of flocked to Trump. 2016, I couldn't vote for him. 2020, I still couldn't vote. Like 3 days, I was pissed. I'm a youngin. But then 2024, I finally got to vote for him, and it's because he feels relatable. Like he's this guy who's like, I'm just a guy. I'm doing what I think is best for the country and what can help us, but I'm just a guy. So here I am going to a sporting event like a normal person. I'm not sitting here tucking away hiding. I'm sitting here. I'm going out. So yeah, I saw some clips of that. There was a I believe it was Air Force Academy. He was wearing like a U.S. flag, had it draped over his shoulder, and he saluted the president and everything. I'm like, that's awesome. Like that is such a good moment for that kid because even if he doesn't go anywhere in wrestling, his career like ends there. He still has that amazing moment, and now he's gonna be an Air Force officer. So
I think Trump does a really good job of giving people those moments, and even like just the photo ops he's really good at.
Hmm.
So it's a good thing for like people to show, like, people don't understand, like, if you're in like a wrestling community, that's a big community of people that if you're not a part of, you just never will go, you'll never enter.
Yeah.
So seeing the president like caring about it, that community will start to care about that, and it makes it him more, like you said, more relatable and more likable. Same with the football thing, like American football is huge, so him being at the Super Bowl, I think that's a good thing. It's a
Yep.
good thing for people to see, like, hey, we're not all politics all the time. We can take a step back and all enjoy something as a united like people.
Yeah, it reminds people too that he's human. He's not this political machine. He's a human. But I mean, what helps too with all that is he was a TV personality for years. You know, he went from business owner, TV personality, to president. Like that's literally kind of
Yeah.
just how his life went. But
And it was hard too. The last presidency with Biden, they hit him so often because of his health
yeah,
problems and dementia and everything else that I I feel like people got used to the president being almost like a shadow figure. Like you don't really know what Biden's doing. You don't really know what his health is. You don't really know. And now Trump walking around and like going to like being like a rich person who goes to events. I think people
yeah,
look at that almost selfishly now because Biden did so little. Just
yeah. They're not
period.
used to it. They're not used to seeing a president actually showing his face. They're used to him hiding away in the White House or sitting on a beach. You know, now you got this president that's going out, engaging with people more often, and it's just they're not used to it.
Did you say he? I know he was at Super Bowl. You said he was also at Daytona 500. Yeah, it
Yes,
says it right here.
Daytona 500. Since he's been president, it was Super Bowl, Daytona 500, and the NCAA wrestling championship. And then when he was president elect, he went to a UFC fight, and he was front row with Joe Rogan.
I know he's a huge UFC fan. That
Yeah.
podcast with Joe Rogan, dude.
Mm-hmm.
For as much as like, I'm like I said, I'm an in betweener when it comes to the parties, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That podcast with Joe Rogan was one of the most relatable things ever. Was him talking about the, oh, when does he fight? Oh, he fights like November 20th, and oh, I'm gonna have to be there. Either really happy if I win the presidency, or really depressed if I don't. And it
Yeah.
was like, it was such a real thing for him to say, where it's like, yeah, I could lose, like, and if I lose, I'm gonna be upset. Like, I want to win. Like, I think he did a great job on that. But yeah, so even like WrestleMania is coming up. I think
Mm-hmm.
Trump should go to like even like a WrestleMania. Like
Yeah.
these big events, like keep him going around. Like I like the president being the face of the country. Like
Yeah.
on either side, I think Obama did a pretty good job at it
Yeah. He was
too.
all over.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think the last president that we had did not do that. Like he was not anywhere, and it just kind of people forgot about that. Now with WrestleMania, I don't know how because Trump he's canon in the WWE universe. He
yeah,
is
he's in the Hall
very
of Fame.
yeah he's up there, and it's like I don't know if he would go, but
I think he
you
will.
never know with him. So
I think he will. It depends. It's in Vegas this year or whatnot, and it's always
yeah.
it's probably hard for him to travel from
Yeah.
certain stuff. Like, but so I also want to ask you before we leave this story. So he has like a entourage at this point,
Hmm.
and you and I mentioned like Elon is basically becoming like the second vice president at this point. Some people would
Yeah.
probably put him above Pence as like important in the administration. How do you feel about that?
I'm guessing you meant Vance.
Yeah, JD Vance.
Yeah,
What did I
not
say?
Pence. You said Pence.
Oh, I said Pence. Oh my god. We're talking
I was
about
like, that
Biden,
man's
I'm
gone.
talking
He's
about
gone.
old.
Get him out of here. But
Talking about old school politics.
yeah, you were talking about Biden's dementia. I think I think
Hit
you were
me.
running.
Dude, it's early. It's cold here. We got snow. I thought
Yeah.
winter was over.
So yeah, I do think it's kind of strange that Elon's like I'm just gonna say it how I see it, like a little lapdog to Trump right now. Like I support Doge and everything that they're doing, but like he is just everywhere Trump goes, Elon's there. Like a press review, Elon steps out. Elon, and it's like okay, I get it, but like I just want to see the president and vice president sometimes, and like maybe like Marco Rubio, some other people that are up there, but like why is Elon here? Like
Yeah, like what's the goal with him? Because he's not going to run for office.
He
Obviously, he
can't.
doesn't
Yeah,
have. He can't. Yeah,
yeah.
and honestly, any lower position he wouldn't take because he makes more money just being a business owner. When not, it'd be
Yeah.
dumb for him to really get into politics. So I don't understand what the end goal here is for either one. Trump doesn't really benefit too much. Like the relationship is good, but it doesn't have to be so in your face. Everywhere we go, we have to be seen like almost like a married couple of like, no, we always get along. Like,
Yeah.
see, me and Elon, we're on the same page still. Like, I don't get it.
I don't either, and I think
But
we're just gonna have to sit and wait and kind of like see, just analyze it and watch it because like, yeah, it's weird. Like, I don't want to sit here and talk about like the left thinks that he's just like breathing down his ear and he's running the country. Remember all the President Elon, their
yeah,
cute little signs? It's
we
like
didn't
I don't
vote
think
for
he's doing
Elon.
that. I don't think Trump's doing that. Trump's a big ego man. He's like, I'm the head honcho. No one's beating me here. But I don't really know. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and just see and watch what goes on with it.
Yeah. The left does think that they're going to turn on each other eventually, and they might.
Yeah, they
I'm
might.
not. That's something I wouldn't bet against. But I can't. Listen, it's just one of those things. Like from either perspective, I do a really good job at looking at stuff from people's perspective. From Trump's perspective, Elon is now kind of controversial because only the right likes him at this point. So really, what are you benefiting walking around with him? You're just kind of benefiting the crowd that already likes you.
Yeah,
Now, I don't think like you should like disown your friend because the left doesn't like them by any means. I'm not saying that, but like going to like events together, like you said, every press conference is like, and my buddy Elon's here, and Elon comes out with his kid
yeah.
and whatnot. It's like, I just I don't see the end goal. Like after Trump's presidency, does Elon just go back to being a businessman? Is he just done with the
I
Republican Party at that
yeah, I
point?
don't
Like
know. Like, I don't know if he's gonna still be heading Doge. Like,
that's
and I
actually a
think
good point too.
it also depends on who wins the next election because if Democrats win, they want to. Oh, you're moving.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
you.
moving my camera a little bit.
Oh, he's fixing. Oh. But I think they would want to dismantle Doge. I feel like they want to. They really want to dismantle
Oh yeah, that
Doge,
would.
and it's just
Well,
like I hate that.
look at it from like a company's perspective. It's almost like a corrupted boss wanting to get rid of their own HR department. It's like
Yeah,
if you have the ability to do so, why wouldn't you do so? And if the Democrats come back into office and they're like, "Hey, we have this organization that is literally just here to review us," let's make sure they don't review us.
yeah. It's
but
I don't know. It's
yeah, I don't know.
that's it. We just gotta wait. Like we just have to wait. There's nothing like we can't analyze anything that's going on right now. Like you can, but it's not gonna lead you to a conclusion. Cause
It's
like
all just
there's
conspiracies and guesswork.
yeah, that's all it is right now. It's like President Elon. I didn't vote for Elon. It's like yeah, I didn't either. But if I had to run Doge, yeah, I probably would have voted on him.
It still is Ramaswamy still working with him on Doge?
No,
That's
he
the
he stopped when he went to go be Ohio governor.
that makes sense. I'm gonna look up just real quick.
Yep.
USA Today did post something on Doge.
Okay.
Um,
Let me pull up Doge's X and see if we can, you know what I mean? See what they've been saying,
yeah.
what they've been doing.
So the issue that Doge is facing right now, well, first off, the federal judges keep going for them for legal issues. That's gonna be a big one to keep an eye on too. Is if like I don't know what even you need to see what people target. And if you have a bunch of federal judges all at the same time basically saying this Doge, this organization is going to be targeted more than like any other organization, and all
Mm-hmm.
their power is to say like, hey, this is what we found. They have no authority. Like even when they come out and say, hey, this organization is wasting this much money, they
Mm-hmm.
can't prevent that. That's not Doge's
Yeah.
responsibility. So the fact that you see so many federal judges and whatnot targeting them, that's a real sign that the federal government has that issue of transparency. Of soon as that microscope goes over them, they start attacking. They do not want stuff to be found out.
Yeah. So now they're so this is what Doge tweeted 11 hours ago. As of Friday, the Small Business Administration requires date of birth now for all direct loan applications. That was not a thing before, I guess. You didn't need to have your birthday to pull out certain federal loans. That's kind of crazy to me.
That's weird because
Yeah.
I know about that because I know
Yeah.
on some of the financial podcasts we listen to
Hmm.
that they will people in like their 30s will get like student loans
Yeah.
like just for the barely go back to college, like go back for like 1 or 2 classes, but would pull
Hmm.
out like enough student loans for like entire semesters.
Yeah.
Right. But I guess if we're talking a little bit about people pulling money and dumb decisions, you want to talk a little bit about how DoorDash is like a
Yeah.
tax on poor people?
This is this is just crazy. So if you guys aren't aware, DoorDash and financial tech company Klarna, they're like what's a good way to describe it? Like a firm and everything else where you can pay in segments for everything. DoorDash customers will have the option to either pay in full, to pay in 4 equal installments, or to postpone payment to a more convenient time, such as a date that aligns with their paycheck. DoorDash said Thursday in a news release. This was last week, I believe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it's just, that's crazy. It's and it's become widespread. It's already been offered by Grubhub, I guess, Walmart shoppers, and those who bank at JP Morgan Chase. Like, I understand some like groceries that can be different, but like DoorDash is not a necessity. But then DoorDash does groceries, so that kind of it dabbles into that. But like,
Mhm.
people don't need to be sitting here going out and like, oh man, I can't afford McDonald's. Oh, I could pay for it later, and I can just go get this fat food, instead of just going and
It's
going to the
hard too
grocery store
because
and getting something and making something.
the issue that DoorDash people don't understand is they look at it as, well, I need food. They look at it as a necessity. Like, well,
Yeah.
I have food in the house, but I don't want to make it. So food is a necessary thing. So who cares if I spent $40 on a dinner for one person from
Mm-hmm.
fast food like getting delivered to me? Like, and the thing, it's such a good DoorDash as a company is just a good idea. Like,
Oh yeah,
for
hundred
the
percent.
American consumer, especially, or even like cities, you see these people like ride around bikes to like
Yeah.
office buildings just for lunch. It's a good thing. It's just the people who have the money to use it are using it, but then the people who just should not. This should not be downloaded on your phone if you're
Yeah.
like unemployed. It should be illegal
Yeah.
to have.
I think I
Like,
think DoorDash is great too for small businesses that can't afford to buy delivery drivers. You know what I mean? Like the small pizza
yeah,
place can't afford to stay afloat if they pay for a delivery driver. So now they don't have to because now they can just do it through DoorDash. And then if people want it, like it's crazy what you can do. You can order on like some people's apps, and DoorDash will come up and deliver it for you.
I mean, it's probably super helpful for
Hmm.
places that don't even deliver, like Taco Bell. I bet Taco Bell,
Yeah, I think
like,
theirs is through. Yeah, I think theirs is through DoorDash. When
yeah,
you go on the app and it says delivery, I think it's DoorDash. They just
yeah,
ping a driver.
it's
Yeah.
such a good, like I said, it's a good idea, and it's hard because even like from my financial position, me and Christina probably DoorDash more than we should,
Hmm.
but we have it like in our budget. Like, okay, when we go out to eat, we consider fast food almost the same as like going out to dinner. Like we estimate that price to be
Hmm.
about the same because we know if we are getting fast food, it's almost always DoorDashed.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as like a $30 like if we're gonna go out to Taco Bell, it's gonna be $30 in our head because in
Yeah.
our head it's always has that DoorDash fee on it as well.
Hmm.
But
So yeah,
you got
with
too many people who just should not be living on
mhm.
DoorDash who will get it every day, and they don't need to. They have a
Yeah,
car, they
no,
have access. Like,
yeah, it's just laziness in the world.
mhm,
But here's so I asked ChatGPT for the pros and cons. Like I sent him the article that I had. So pros: increased affordability. Okay, no immediate full payment, interest for free options, more payment flexibility, and a competitive edge because DoorDash finally joined other major brands. Here's the cons
mhm,
that I think are great cons. Potential for overspending. That's a great one because customers might order more food than they can afford. You know what I mean? This guy is
yeah,
like, because now they have that option because like, oh, I don't have to pay for it now, so they can put themselves in this. Think about it later. Then they have late fees and interest risks. If payments are missed, high fees or interest rates may apply.
so it's gonna be
Klarna's
more
they
money.
have interest free, but if payments are made on time, if they're missed, you have to pay interest, and that's the only
Mhm.
time it matters. So it's like it's a kind of a scam in a way. Like no
It's
interest, but if you miss the payment, you have to pay interest. I mean, that's how interest works. Like most of the
yes,
time, like
you always see it with like jewelry stores or like
mm-hmm.
furniture stores. Always do that where it's like they know so many consumers are just gonna not pay, So they can
Yeah.
base their entire business model on interest will kick in after a year. We assume you're not going to pay it off by then, so we're going to just at that time get all that interest at the same time.
Exactly.
Listen, if people don't watch, I listen to Caleb Hammer. He is the financial podcast show I
You
listen
said
to.
Hammer? What is it?
Hammer, yep,
Okay.
Caleb
Okay.
Hammer.
Okay.
He is excellent. He's basically like Gordon Ramsay. He just yells at people about how dumb their financial decisions are. But you see people on the show, they'll just fend DoorDash till the end of the day, and they'll always have an excuse of either, well, I know I'm in debt, but I smoke weed at night. Do you want me to drive all high? Obviously, I can't drive all high. It's like, no, you should not. You're spending money where it shouldn't be spent. And then
Yeah.
these are the same people who will come out and he constantly have it on the show where they'll blame like capitalism. It's like you're using every like feel good option immediately, self gratification stuff, and then you're complaining that the system doesn't allow you to be thriving in it. Like you're living like a luxurious lifestyle of people delivering food to you, like
Yeah.
and you work at a fast food place.
It's just crazy because yeah, people are so dependent on it now. And then like here's some more cons. So like it encourages debt. It definitely encourages debt. It's not for everyone. Some people may not qualify. They don't tell you that. You know, so they're advertising this and it's not, a lot of people might not even apply to it. And then there's your impact on your credit score. You know, you miss one of those payments because you wanted to buy like a $20 McDonald's meal, you know, something not crazy, but you forget about it because you don't use that app for anything else. That shit just racks up, your credit score starts tanking, and soon you're at like a 600 when you're at like a 720, and you're like, what the hell happened? And then you gotta take 2-3 years to start building it up again.
Yeah, like just imagine that though. Imagine like right now we wanted like pizza for like a game night. We hang out on the weekend sometimes, but it's like okay, $50 for pizza. And it's like man, I don't have $50 in my account right now, but I get paid on Friday, so I'll order the food, do it in like 2 payments, pay 25 now, I'll pay 25 when I get paid next week. It's like that should never be how you live like on a food basis.
No,
like food should not be a pay now, like buy now, pay later.
No,
that's just
not at all. But then I do think that's good for groceries sometimes because some people you're stuck in a pay cycle. Like right now, like I just started that new job like a month ago. I've gotten one paycheck, but it doesn't cash till Tuesday, so that's not fun. But and then we have the military pay. I still haven't gotten paid. It's been 3 weeks. Like military pay got delayed because I guess there was a near government shutdown like last week or the week before.
Say, that shut down
Yeah, and it shut down pay, and it just made it an issue, and mine still never got recovered. So, like, I'm down $400. So, like, that's kind of... I know
look
it's
at
only
it the
2
same
days,
way,
but,
though.
like, that's $400. Like, that...
You can look at it like government benefits, though, the same way. Where it's like, am I okay with someone going out and getting groceries with their government benefits? Absolutely. But when you start saying, like, well, yeah, but I need my government benefits so that I could get a $30 Taco Bell order, then I'm like, wait a minute here. Like, what are we actually giving you money for?
Those. So, like, the EBT card, you know, that buys you groceries and everything, RFK wants to make it so you can't get junk food or pop. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, I feel like that's fine.
I think the government should be allowed to restrict it purely. It's their money.
Yeah.
I've always had this argument, though, when we talk about universal health care. The second it's universal health care, if the government comes out and says, hey, you're not allowed to ever smoke a cigarette again because Big Daddy government is paying for your health care, I get to restrict your body in that way. I think that's 100% fair. Like, from a logistical, like, I'm paying for your health, I can force you to do certain things to stay healthy. Like, I think that's fine.
I do not want universal health care at all.
Me neither.
If you look at Canada, so, like, say you need a transplant. Let's just not use any specifics because I don't know how easily readily available they are. But say something pretty common. You know, like, in America, it'd take, like, a couple months. You know, you're waiting years for that organ because like it's all free, so it's everybody's on that list. It doesn't matter. Like, I think maybe there should be like have it trickled. Maybe like maybe you go off of somebody's income. You know what I mean? Like if they're making less than this and they are physically able, like they're not disabled, you know, stuff like that. Like maybe they can qualify for something and it helps. But not it just shouldn't be free. And even if they do try to do that, private healthcare should still be a thing. If people have their
Yes.
money, they want to use it on better treatment, let them. They earn that money, let them spend it. Like,
There should be a baseline system. Obviously, there should be like a
mm-hmm.
if you're in a car crash, they should take you to a hospital. Like they
Yeah,
should like
100%. That should be,
obviously
yeah.
fix your bones, obviously that type of stuff. The issue is Tim Pool always makes a great example of this, and
Mm-hmm.
it's one of the things that I've started listening to him because of his example of this.
Yeah.
He said, "Imagine you have a disease. It can be
Mm-hmm.
cured by one specific flower that is found in the middle of a forest in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
When you say universal health care, you are required to fix me. I come in with this disease, and you are required to help me with it.
Mm-hmm.
You are forcing labor to go get that flower. So someone has to travel to Africa, go into the African forest, find this specific flower, make this flower into medicine, bring it back to the United States, administer it, make sure it's the right dosage, make sure it passes all regulation. Then they give it to you, and you're thinking, yeah, this is a human right. I have the human right to require all of that labor. It's like that doesn't make sense. Like
No.
you should have to in that instance. I have to be able to pay for that person to go to Africa. I have to be able to pay that person who wants to go
Yeah.
grab the flower. Like that's a job. That's someone's livelihood that's on the line. And the government can't just produce. Let's say that flower is worth $1 million. You're telling the
Mm-hmm.
government to print $1 million for this random person to be able to come in with this super rare disease and get treated. That's weird to me. That is a
Yeah.
situation where you have to go on a case by case basis of, yeah, maybe that one you skip. Well, then how far do you skip? Do you go all the way with it? And okay,
Yeah.
well, you got cancer. Well, we're not going to treat you because that's going to cost us too much money, and you're probably going to die at the end anyway. It's like
It's crazy. But here's another thing. So, like, ambulance rides, so expensive. Like, they get up to, like, $20,000 for them to go 2 miles. And it's like, what?
Yep.
That's crazy to me. Like, I think maybe that should be either, there should be, like, government restrictions on, like, how much they can charge for that. Because that's just crazy. I don't think there's anything in that ambulance, unless they give you everything that they have, that would cost that much money. Like, that's insane to me.
The one thing I like about RFK though is he's mentioned this before. The issue is actually the regulations. It's if someone's in the ambulance, how much of the items in the ambulance has to be thrown out just because a patient was already in there? Where it's
I understand that.
Default, we have to we gave them some of this medicine. Now this medicine we have to put in reserve so that if something goes wrong with this guy, we can say this is the medicine we gave him. Like, how much of it is so overly regulated where it's like, oh, what was it? Was it oh man, he had a good example. I don't remember if it was like estrogen or if it was something with diabetes, something where they would make like a 10 milligram vial, but dosage would only come in 3 milligram dose. So, but because of regulations, you can't use the vial. Like, you couldn't take 3 milligrams out, use it, and then keep the other 7. You would have to throw out the rest of the vial because of regulations.
Yeah, that's crazy to me.
So yeah, we're making it like a medicine. We're making it in like a vial of 10, knowing 70% of that medicine is going to get thrown out for the average dose.
Yeah, just make it, even if we just make it into 5s. Like a little 5 vials or so, or just change regulation on that. Like, it's not like you're putting a dirty needle in again. You know what I mean? Like, I understand proper storage. Like, if you have to do something, because some of those vials, they stick it straight through the thing and it goes in. And it's like, yeah, but then it's like, but it's not like it's open. Like, it's not like it's open and you're just holding it in the air, letting it get everything out. Like, no, and it's a new needle, it's new everything. You're not just sticking the same one in there.
It comes with the privilege of America, though.
Yeah.
People don't look at life as how life is. They look at it as how it should be. And someone gets a cough, will go into urgent care. And in my mind, I'm like, you have a cough. That means nothing to me. But these people do have a mindset of no, I'm sick. You are the people who cure me. And if you don't, there's a moral wrong to it.
Yeah, I only had to go to urgent care when I was sick because I missed 3 days of work. So I had to go. They require that. And it's like, I'm just sick. I can't come in. I work with food. What do you want me to do? Coughing on the food? Like, what?
For me, it was when I had mono, I went in. I probably went through 2 weeks after getting the sore throat and the whole. and they're like, well, you have strep throat, so they give you antibiotics, which if you have mono and they put you on antibiotics, it
Mm-hmm.
kills your immune system. So
Yeah.
killed my immune system on that. But the whole time, you will have people out there. Then I go back. They put me on steroids. I feel great like a week
Yeah.
later. But you'll have people where that experience, they'll look at that as like a medical failure. Like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
god, you gave me the wrong medicine for this disease. You could test me for. And to me, I'm like, that's just how it works. Like, I went in, and the most common disease at that time of year is strep throat. All my symptoms are strep
Yeah.
throat. I don't blame them for
No.
being wrong. Like, that's,
No.
but it's just people look at it in different ways. Like, when I
Yeah.
view a medical system, I look at it as, holy shit, if I broke my arm, I could go get it placed. Like, I don't have to have the local doctor hope that he's in town today to come set my
Yeah.
arm. Like, it's a good thing our medical system, or like you said, Canada, goddamn, if you have anything up there, it takes 4 to 5 months to even see a doctor. Here, I
Yeah,
could
like
get
you can go to
physical
like an
2 weeks from
emergency.
now.
Yeah, you can go to an emergency room, but you're gonna be waiting in line for like 7 to 12 hours because everyone's there. They're like, "Oh, I have a headache," and they're in the emergency
Yeah,
room. Like,
it's the there's an American Dad episode where Dan goes into an urgent care center. He's stabbed like 30 times,
oh
and the
yeah.
girl in front of him in line, my elbow feels funny. he's like
It's just-
he's like I seriously need help, and she goes, no, my elbow feels funny. It's like that's but the Obamacare situation, that's all I can
yeah,
think of. It's like, this is great for the people who, like, my kid sneezed today, I'm taking him to urgent care. Like, those
yeah,
people get valued the exact same as someone like me who won't go to urgent care until I'm literally dying.
yeah. It's kind of how I feel. It depends. Like,
I hate doctors' offices.
yeah, I don't mind them, but it's just, I don't usually go. I
So,
usually just rest it up.
as one does. I think it's a male thing too.
Yeah,
Uh, I think once you also become a parent, I think parents will be different with their kids. Like, I'll never
yeah,
go to the doctor, but as soon as I see my kids start to cough or sneeze, it's like, if you feel a little different about it, I bet.
yeah,
But we went from DoorDash. Let's talk to about another company that's failing that I really didn't think was. We're gonna move on to 23andMe.
yeah. That's
Uh,
that's crazy to me. Like, I'm a 23andMe member. Like, people are like, they're selling your data, and I'm like, everyone thinks selling my data.
everyone is.
I'm in the military. They
Everyone
already have
sells their data.
they have all my blood. They have everything. And I
Yeah,
was
they can
like,
clone you if
whatever.
they want.
Like, yeah, it's like whatever. So I think what killed them was actually their evaluation.
Hmm.
So they were evaluated at 3.5 billion, but they're only estimated to be like at around. Wait, so it's let me see this. Wait, blah, 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 blah. So it valued 23andMe a week ago at 11 million, and their evaluation was 3.5 billion. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
because you're not making those
the
numbers.
the issue is with a company like this, you have such a small, like, niche group of individuals who are ever going to use your product,
Mm-hmm.
because you need people who are interested in doing it, who trust your system enough to do it, who don't mind giving up your DNA. So, like, there's a bunch of moral questions that just takes, like, probably 80% of your consumer base
Ugh.
out of the pool. And
Yeah,
that's before you talk about affordability and convenience, like all that stuff.
yeah,
So already, I think they kind of ran into the issue of, it's almost like a, oh, what's the famous? There's some famous examples of the, everyone needs like a lawnmower, but then once everyone has a lawnmower, it's like, how do you sell another lawnmower? You have to
supply and
make a better
demand.
one. Yeah, you have to make a better
Yeah,
lawnmower or something. Like, in this
yeah.
case, everyone who wanted to test their DNA, this has been around long
They
enough.
just did
You've
it.
already done it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't
So
do it again. Once you do it,
yeah,
you give
no.
them you give them their $150, and that's about it. Maybe you pay for the membership to see the health thing, but that's like $3 a month. Like, you're not.
Yeah, so most of their money actually came from, like, the information they gathered off of their consumers, which is fine. That's exactly what they tell you they're gonna do. But
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, this many white people have this chance of disease, and if you're from this
Mm-hmm.
country, you're more likely to have this, and then they would sell that to, like, medical professionals, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But once you got that data, what else does the company do? Like, I think they just ran out of a customer base, really. They're probably valued really well, not for
Yeah.
what they are, but unless you got a bunch of 18-year-olds who, as soon as they turn like 19, 20, 21, they decide they want to get a DNA test. I think they just ran out of customer base. Everyone already did it.
Yeah, like
especially during the pandemic. I bet a lot of people did it during COVID.
So like I did it around, it was around that time. It wasn't because of that. Like my dad did it in like 2018, 2019, so I did it around 2019, 2020. And then he actually got it for my little sister too. Like we've all just gotten it. It's not like it's $1,000, you know, it's $100.
It's not that bad.
It's $100. You stick something in your nose or your mouth, whichever one. I think they do both. I don't remember. But yeah, you do that and then you spit. Yeah, you had the tube and you spit in the little tube. You have to fill it up like this far. Yeah, and then you just mail it out. And they come and they send you a thing saying like, this is you. And it's pretty accurate. It's got to be somewhat accurate because my account had nothing to do with my dad at all. And they're like, this guy's 99.9% your father. Like, you guys share a lot of DNA. Like,
which is smart. Like I said, it as a company makes sense to me. I just like you said, okay, now that you did it, do you have any interest in ever 5 years down the road? Are you gonna go, well, I need to go spit in that tube again?
No, not
maybe
me.
My DNA changed.
Yeah, they do make one for a dog, but that's still like, it's like $100. So like what, you spend like $200-300 maximum at that company and then you're just done. Like there's nothing else to it. Like
I said, and once you sell the data, no offense, but once the data's out there, the data's out there. I mean,
yeah, you're not just you can't
and
safeguard
your sample
it forever.
size is specifically the people who care to do this and the people with the means to do it and like are willing to. Like, I don't think it's a bad thing for them to go down. I think some companies are meant to come around, last for a while, and then leave. Yeah, this is one of those companies. They'll probably get bought out somewhere else and become.
Honestly, they're probably like Google, Microsoft, something like that.
Yeah, something like, or even Amazon, like some type of like, hey, we just want your information. We want your data more than we want your company. I think.
And you guys don't cost much right now, so it's like
essentially, like we could get so much data off of you. Like even like at Amazon. Imagine if you found out like if your ancestry came from like Norway, you are more likely to buy energy drinks. Amazon now knows that, so any person that had the Norway
they start showing energy drinks.
They can start showing advertisements for like energy drinks, and it's like, well, yeah, we're 10% more likely to get energy drink user doing this, so we'll just send ads that way. I mean, Amazon would probably make money off of that little bit of information.
Yeah. Speaking of Amazon, real quick, I just want to touch on this. Did you see that? So currently they have with their, I don't want to say it because we have one. So I don't want to say the word, but you know what I'm talking about. They're smart devices. They made it so you can no longer. So they have a setting where it doesn't upload what you're saying to their servers. That is now no longer a setting. They use it for everything now, which is like Tim Pool talked about this. Like God, we praise Tim Pool a lot. We love Tim Pool. Tim Pool's very smart.
Love man. Tim Pool.
I love his news. He's got some crazy takes to me that I don't fully agree with, but I don't like. He still talks about them. Like this is me. If you don't like it, leave. Like. That's how it should be.
He's just he's a hard isolationist, but
but so now it's called the word, right? The Alexa. You know that we're not gonna say that word. It's called that AI, and so with that, now I know. So such a cool thing, right? Throw an AI in it. Ooh. Oh boy. But now that it listens to everything that you say, like they say that Amazon still says they don't save what you say, but like it always did. Because how else would it get a response? Yeah. Like Tim Pool talked about this. It goes from here, you say it, it goes to a server, gets translated into computer, you know, and code. then it deletes itself and spits out the answer, you know, the output. So people are upset about this because now they're like, oh, my privacy and everything, I can't change it anymore.
If you already have one in the house, you didn't care about privacy. Like that's...
No, I know. The NSA is listening right now. Hi, NSA.
You have your phone. Yeah. You have your phone all the time, too. Because Tim Pool did explain that in a good way, where it's one of those things like I've always agreed with already, but he said that before. I'm like, well, it has to always listen to you because how will it know when you're trying to use a voice command?
It has to listen for certain things. You can't go up. I can't go walk up there and be like, Jarrett, and yell at it. It's not going to respond. Yeah. You know, it's not going to care.
And it's super accurate. Like I lose my phone all the time, so I always do the, hey, Google, where's my phone? I always... Yeah. That's like a go-to phrase in my house. And all my systems will hear me. It heard me over here, but it's asking for confirmation. But yeah, like people don't even think about that. Or if I say, hey, whatever, play this song, it has
Hmm.
to know, like, it's not just hearing its name. It's not like a human. Like,
Yeah.
it has to hear everything. And then once it gets that trigger phrase, like once that transcript says its name, then it
Yeah.
goes, hey, here's the response.
Yeah, I
Like
actually
when you
Tim Pool
find it,
explained it as it's the wavelengths of you saying that word, because you have to think, if you say that word, the wavelength is always going to be the same
yeah,
to an
roughly the
extent.
same.
Yeah, so they can make it so it's only looking for the certain wavelength, and then when it hears it, that's why you can get away with saying stuff that's not it but close. The Google
Yeah, I
one's
wonder
kind of,
how
that
accurate
one
it is.
goes crazy. Google used to be kind of weird. You could say anything and it'd be like, it would talk and it'd be like, what? Like,
Yeah, and like I said, it's one of those things. No one cares about privacy anymore. It's not.
no, it's not.
It
You don't have
it,
privacy. Like,
it sucks, but yeah, you can be private. You just need to stay off of technology.
you have to, yeah, you
But
have to be off the grid.
yeah, imagine people like you and I though care about privacy, where it's like we sit in Discord at night and play games. I mean,
Yeah,
we stream stuff to like YouTube. Our
yeah.
microphones are probably connected to 40 different applications on our computer at a time. I mean,
Hmm.
it,
We go to download something, we immediately press yes. When it asks for
yeah,
admin
half the
access, we
time
click yes.
if I go to a website, it's like this website's not secure. I'm pissed off that it's even
Proceed.
giving me a notification. Yeah, just
I press
go
proceed.
on. I know.
Yeah.
I typed the website in.
Oh, what
But
websites are you going on, huh, buddy?
yeah. Anyways, so we're done. We're done with 23andMe. So going on from that, let's go woke, go broke. Snow White. I just
God,
deleted the
yeah.
tab. Snow
Okay, so
White bombs
I have
the
one from
office.
Associated Press, which is what's her name? Christina, right? Something Levitt, Catherine Levitt, the press secretary. She loves the Associated Press. She
Yes.
loves them. But so Snow White opens with a sleepy 43 million. We talked about this. Was it Friday or Wednesday? I don't
We
remember. But
talked about it Friday. Friday we complained about it.
oh no, I think it
No,
was
maybe it
Wednesday. We
was
showed the
Wednesday.
trailer. It was Wednesday because we
Yeah,
had
it
video.
was
Friday we
Wednesday.
didn't have video. Yeah. So it's so yeah. So Disney made a live action Snow White, but changed the entire plot. And they're like, oh, people won't mind. They'll like it because we're Disney. They made 40. They made 40. Oh, 44. Okay, sorry, I'm reading the article right now. So 44.3 million from the United States and 87.3 million worldwide. That's not good.
That's not their numbers. Yeah, that's not their numbers.
Expectations were significantly higher. Okay, so I'm not shitting on Disney too much though. Have you seen? So Lilo and Stitch comes out in May, and that looks good. Like they showed a side by side from like Lilo and Stitch from like the cartoon to the live action, and it's the same scenes. Like they a remake. They did what they're supposed to do.
Disney can do good. That's what pisses people off. Is
Yeah.
every once in a while they'll come out with like a great movie. And it's like, oh, Disney's
Mhm.
back, baby. And then it's like
No.
a couple weeks later, they're like, great, we're making Little Mermaid, but fish now are people because we don't want to offend fish. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
why are you guys so? I don't even like using the word bipolar, but they're bipolar on the subject, where it's like we have to be super culturally sensitive. We talked about this
Mhm.
last week with Assassin's Creed. Either don't be sensitive at all, or be
Yeah.
100% accurate. You can't be 50-50 on it.
Yeah. So IMDb has it as a 2 stars. Only 2 stars, and that's from users, obviously. You know.
Hmm.
So like, here's a user review that I read earlier that I thought was pretty funny. It's a 1 out of 10, and their title is "Rooting for the Apple to Win." And it's so it talks about. So it says a princess with a personality, kind of. So Rachel Zegler takes on the role of Snow White, though you'd be forgiven for thinking she was actually playing a medieval TED Talk speaker. Instead of the wide-eyed, kind-hearted princess we all knew, this Snow White is a strong, independent woman, because saying, I want to be a queen, not a bride, apparently counts as character development these days. That's right, folks. Forget charming dwarves, woodland creatures, or actual chemistry with anyone. This Snow White has dreams, and she's here to remind you about them every 5 minutes. Like, it reminds me of, okay, so do you remember Avengers Endgame?
I remember the movie.
So there's this scene towards the end, the massive fight scene. You know, they're all coming through the portals fighting, where I think it's Spider-Man's getting his ass beat. Someone's getting their ass beat, and then like the 5 female characters that nobody gives a fuck about show up and they're like, we'll take it from here, and they
Yes.
like most
Yes.
useless 30 seconds in any movie, and then like this massive ship that's causing all these problems, like Captain Marvel just flies through and blows it up, and it's like, what? Why the fuck didn't you do that before then? Like, what are you doing here?
You
It's
know
just,
that they just they made that. I know exactly what scene you're talking about. 'Cause I'm
yeah.
not even a big fan of superhero movies.
I'll try to find it. Wait, I'll try to find it and play it. But
it was so obvious, like watching it, it's like, here we go. This is a scene we need for trailers. We need it for the women. Like we needed to put this scene in. It's like so
Yeah.
fucking forced.
yeah, it's very forced. Wait,
Which
I think
it doesn't need to be. Like you have empowering women have been in every form of media ever.
Yeah.
Like how can they not do it right anymore?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't
man.
mention that you're a woman. You don't mention that you're being like oppressed or anything, because the second you say like I'm a victim in the system, that's not a cool thing.
Yeah.
Like,
all right, I found the video, so I'm just gonna play it real quick. It's like 2 minutes.
play it.
But yeah, this is just funny here. Let me change the scene real quick and play it. It's just hilarious, is all it is. So like, oh wait, I think I have my tab muted. I was like, oh no.
Careful, it might copyright us, so be careful on that.
Yeah. Well, we don't need audio. We don't need audio. You don't need audio to play.
You can say,
So, like,
trust me, the whole scene is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
clear.
Here they are. Captain Marvel takes the Thanos gauntlet, and there's the girl from I don't even know. There's Ant-Man, the Wasp. There's a random Valkyrie. There's Mantis, and another girl from Wakanda. So there's 2 Wakandan fighters, and there's Gamora. Like, like all the women show up, and then like boys were getting their ass beat, and then oh look, all of a sudden they're just cutting through everything. Like,
we have arrived.
no issue whatsoever. Like,
It's so forced. They have to have them
it's
all
so
enter at like the
forced.
same time and
it's
have like
so
a WWE style entrance. Like,
yeah, like it's
women. Alright,
it's like
like
that.
you
It was
said-
just unnecessary. Like, I'm not mad about it. Like, some of those female characters were great, but it's like, why are you doing this? Like, it didn't need to be necessary. But I feel like that's kind of it started that whole culture where like they're like, oh well, women like superhero movies aren't good. So let's go in this massive movie that everyone's gonna see and make the women look badass, so that they'll go see the women solo movies we're gonna make that are ass.
It's no different than what they do with like games nowadays too, where it's like to make a female character in a game, you don't want her to be a victim. You want her to be a badass. It's like they don't understand that of like, well, no, we have to explain to you why it's good that she's a woman. It's like, no, just have a woman good character. That's how you do
Yeah.
it. Like,
no, come on, that'd be smart.
yeah, like it's beating a dead horse. We've been having this conversation since like Gamergate back in like 2014.
Yeah.
It's like girls who don't play video games will come into video game communities and go, well, we need to change all this thing culturally. And it just makes no... Again, we play a lot of Valorant, so I'm going to go back to Valorant. Valorant has a ton of female characters, and they are badass. They're cool when we see people cosplay them. Like, there's times I will send that even like in the Discord, like, look at this cosplay, like, or... And they're good, just developed characters. That if you follow the storyline, like the second in command is the healing female of the group. Yeah, it's like, and then like one of the people, you got a ghost behind you.
Yeah, I think that was Liz walking by. Yeah, it's a ghost. Yeah.
And then it's like one of the badass of the groups is Viper, who's all about toxins. Like they have so many different female characters in that game, and they all are different. None of them are just. Some are overpowered, like gun-using characters. Some are chemical scientists. Others are the healing mains. Like that's how you do a female character, or the Lauren Croft of the Tomb Raider series.
Yeah, Laura Croft is a great character.
Yeah, Seamus from was it Metro?
Metroid?
Yeah, Metroid.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of female characters that are lead characters that are awesome, but the ghost. But yeah, there's a lot of female characters that are lead, but like a lot of them, they're not being forced down your throat, which is good. Like Valorant with Clove being like a they them and everything, non-binary stuff, that doesn't bother me. That does not bother me because it's not forced.
Character.
Like, it's in our lore, it's all there, but it's like it's not forced down your, like, every line's not like somebody misgendering them and then going on a lecture. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm correcting you.
That's in Dragon Age Veilguard. or whatever, the
Yes.
new Dragon Age. Yeah, there's like a 10-minute scene where they're disciplining you, like you're doing push-ups, and they're telling you, like, teaching you about misgendering somebody. I'm like, that's just unnecessary. Like, that's just
Because
that
you can
seems just
tell it's
woke
written
BS.
in disingenuously. Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to explain that to people because what was the Valorant clone that died earlier this year? X Defiant, I think is what. No, not X Defiant. Was it X Defiant?
Spectre
What was
Divide. That one just
it
shut its
Spectre
servers down last week. That's the one where it's a 3v3, but it's 6 people because you play as 2 characters.
It was whatever the one where all the characters were like fat women. I'm trying to think of Moist Critical went after them a lot. Hold on, we're gonna have to find it.
Fat
No, it was not
women
X Defiant.
characters.
Yeah,
What
it was.
are you
It was
on?
a Valorant clone, but it was like a very like woke one. Let me. Concord. Concord.
Oh yeah, that game died so fast.
Yeah,
Literally,
it died
like,
immediately. Thank God. But look at like someone will go like Concord failed because it's so woke on that, and it's like yeah, but it's only woke because it used female characters. It's like look at the I have it pulled up on my screen at least. Like
yeah, I'm pulling up a picture of the characters
like
real quick.
no one wants to play characters that look like this. Like these aren't women. Like these aren't. They're not like even the
Yeah.
they thems and whatnot. Like these are just unappealing characters.
Yeah.
But then someone will go, "Well, I didn't like Concord because it's woke," and people will go, "Oh, by woke you mean there's women and black people involved?" It's like no,
Yeah.
like
It's
they're
like no, by woke, like there's
not human
just
characters. Like,
yeah. But then if a character looks like I don't want to say typical, but you know, like a typical female, it's like the worst thing in the world, and it's just appealing to the male fantasy is all they say. And it's like, oh my god.
yeah, like how dare your Valorant agents who in storyline are protecting the world? How dare they be fit, agile, good-looking people? Like
No.
no, they should be fat, overweight, and can barely be able to
Yeah.
move. Like
Once
no.
again, like what Tim Pool says about movies is like he always talks about James Bond. You've probably heard him say it a million times.
Yeah.
Men want to be him and women want to be with him. That's why James Bond was successful. And now you look at like games like that, you know what I mean? Like you make a somewhat like attractive character, someone like they don't even have to be attractive. They just need to look like a human, like just look like neutral, and people want to play that game more. Like people like Rainbow Six Siege. I don't know if you were a big Sieger back in the day, but there's a character that's pretty big. She's a big one. Her name's Gridlock, and nobody ever played her because she was massive. Like she's really fat, but like yeah, it's just.
How many guys also? I know this is a meme thing. I know there's a ton of guys out here who will always pick like a female character when playing like a longer game. And in their mind, it's like, well, I don't want to be looking at a dude the whole time. I'm picking a female character because I'm looking at a female the whole time. Like to me, there's nothing wrong with that. Or like character customization. Like I don't know how many people make the character look like them or make them look like an actual like good looking version of themselves or what they want to be. I think that's okay. It's okay to strive to be something better than what you currently are. Like especially in gaming or like you said in movies. I want to watch a movie and find the people attractive. I don't care if it's a horror movie or whatnot, but you can't have the person who plays like the Hunchback then go out and play James Bond and have the same like he's deformed in one movie, but the other movie he's supposed to be a hunk. It's like but it just says in the script he's a hunk.
Yeah.
Like, us, the audience, has to feel. We have to care about your product.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what they started with Snow White. You know, like, Rachel Zegler, she's kind of attractive. Her eyes are a little bit far apart for me, but Disney's good at that recently. If you look at, I saw a meme that was talking about their live-action casting, and everyone's eyes are, like, on the sides of their heads, like all the actresses. Which, hey, I'm not saying they're not attractive, you know, like, they're still attractive. They're still nice people. Like, I'm not shit-talking them, but, like, it was just funny meme. But then, like, Disney, and then you have Gal Gadot, one of the most beautiful women ever, and they're like, here, this is gonna be the one that's chasing the beauty of the one that's not as beautiful. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense.
I want them, especially Disney as a whole now, what have they not remade yet that they're probably are gonna remake? I know they're making the Leo and Sid. What else? Like they've remade so much. Like
I don't even know. Like I'm trying to think of. Look at like Disney's best cartoons. What are they gonna do? Live action Mickey Mouse? Fucking live action Goofy movie? If they did that, I'd be pissed because a Goofy movie is one of my favorite fucking Disney movies. It is so good.
I think they're going through like classic movies, but they're Hercules, I guess, was one that they haven't done yet.
Ooh, that'd be. I think they were gonna do that actually.
But how are you gonna do like a Greek mythology movie in today's age?
Yeah, Zootopia. That'd be very expensive.
10 years ago.
Okay, so here's the thing with Zootopia. Zootopia was a great idea for a movie because everyone's thought about it. You know, like what animal would be doing this job? You know what I mean? Like if I've always thought about that ever since I was a kid. But then the furry scene ruined the movie Zootopia so much. Like if you say you like Zootopia, people are like, "Oh, you're furry." Yeah. It's like no, I just thought it was a cool concept.
Zootopia ruined Zootopia. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they did make a little tiny rabbit with thick thighs and fucking like they did do that on purpose.
We can't have attractive female leads, but we're gonna try to make our animated characters as suggestive as possible.
They do. Look at Space Jam. Remember Lola Bunny?
Yes, everyone remembers Lola Bunny.
It's sex appeal's been in media for as long as anyone can remember.
Yeah.
I think it works.
Even they unintentionally even I think they just also did with kids movie too. Just because it's something that you remember later on in life. Like you remember Lola Bunny. Like you remember but I'm going through and looking at the remakes. Hercules, but you're not gonna really keep the theme probably.
Emperor's New Groove.
Emperor's New Groove. Even then, I think people would find a lot of that shit offensive now.
They would. So they would have to change the whole story, like Snow White.
I mean, Robin Hood is probably a good thing they changed that story. To be honest with you, but Robin Hood they've
made live action Robin Hoods. They made like 10.
Toy Story 4 sucked, so they ran that series until it was dead.
They're making another one.
Jesus Christ.
I'm in denial of it. I'm like, no, the story's done. They're done.
I'm done after 3.
Yeah, well, 4 really put the nail in the coffin. Like,
there is one movie series where I'm like, yeah, you can have a ridiculous amount of, and to me, it's Saw. Anything else is
Saw is kind of just
3 or superhero movies. I mean, but superhero movies you have a bunch of different.
It's different, yeah. It's
Saw's like a
weird,
world.
Because the first 3 are good, then the rest are shit. I like the new one. The new one was actually pretty good. The newest one was pretty good. Because the new one was weird because it's the prequel. It's before the first movie.
Yes.
It's fucking weird, But
that one was good. It doesn't make sense, but it was still fun. And yeah, it's good. Just turn your brain off and go.
It's
watch.
What made him start doing it. Yeah.
They also they don't present it as we are doing something new and big and vibrant. They're like, you guys remember the other 9 movies we made? Come watch this one.
Yeah. Come watch this one. This one's a prequel, which is what they kind of needed because this guy he just randomly popped in. He's like, yeah, I have cancer and I kill people.
Yeah, kind of.
And then this latest one told the story. He sat here and they lied to him about fixing his. Oh,
I got. She's heading to work, so love you, babe. Love you.
Look at that, the traditional white man.
Yep, traditional wife right there.
But so
future wife.
So no, what I was saying, now it tells the story. He got lied to about a cancer treatment. And they were scamming people, and it pissed him off. So he started making them, in his words, atone to their sins. He took God in pretty much.
That's a movie though. They target a lot about the health industry in that movie, but they don't do 100%. It in a very, very political way. It's not shoving it down your throat. Oh, this is capitalism's fault. He's not going after politicians and
no,
a Trump clone or something.
No.
It's. But you see that, like I said, they can make movies today and advertise it correctly. They can have a meaning, but it's hidden in. You don't have to sit there and get lectured, whatnot. And then they make Snow White. It's
well, it's because Disney has so much money that they don't give a fuck anymore.
They can just
Disney owns everything.
Half of them.
They make a Marvel movie and they make a bunch of money. Sorry, a bunch of movie.
Yeah, a bunch of movie off the money.
I mean, they do. It's an infinite cycle for Disney, but I mean, I don't know how the new Captain America went, but I know lots of people were kind of upset with the new Captain America.
I don't even go to movies anymore.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, one will come out.
It's got a 5 out of 10.
like the last movie I was actually excited for was probably the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and I didn't even
That was
watch that in
terrible.
theater. I
I
just
watched
watched
it
that
on.
on Peacock.
Was it Peacock? Yeah, I
I
forgot
think
what
it
it
was
aired on, but
Peacock.
yeah, I watched it opening
Like,
night, and it was horrible. So
I don't.
yeah,
It wouldn't be horrible other than the fact that they can't make PG-13 movies anymore. Because
no,
PG-13 used to be like, oh,
with
we're gonna be a
horror,
little edgy. What can we get away
well,
with? And now it's like
yeah,
PG-13 is like, okay, here's the death scene, and we're gonna cut away every single time. Every
yeah. So
death scene is
a
a cutaway.
good PG-13 horror movie was The Visit. That was a good one.
Yeah, The Visit was really good, but even that, I think today would be rated R.
Yeah, which it's not even like it's not even bad. I do like it. I do find it funny. Like so, like performances. Like, have you ever seen the guy on TikTok? The guy with the whips. He does songs. He has like
Yes.
whips. Yeah, and so he does PG-13 shows, and everyone knows PG-13. You can say the F word one time.
One
like,
time.
and so he uses it pretty funnily. But it's like it's
Now, when are we gonna use it?
yeah. The Visit did it
No.
really well. The kid slamming
Visit
the
was good.
guy's face in the door, and he's just screaming at him.
Yeah, like The Visit is good. Like, but I think that's the issue people are having like with
Mhm.
PG stuff now is when I thought PG-13, it was always we're pushing it to R. We made an R movie that we're trying to, we wanted to be PG-13, so
Yeah.
we'll cut a little bit of blood out. We'll cut a little bit of this out. Like,
Yeah.
and nowadays it's almost like they go to PG-13, but it almost seems like if the movie started as like for everyone, it was E for everyone, and then they just moved it up like.
Yeah,
We'll make it a little bit edgier. It's like I want, like Five Nights at Freddy movie. That movie only works if the animatronics are scary, deadly, like
and they
creatures.
Yeah.
But you're not showing any of the death scenes. You're not showing them.
Yeah, they didn't show
They're
anything.
insinuating
Maybe
that
they'll
they kill
learn.
stuff.
Maybe they'll learn. The next one comes out next year, so we'll see. But
I just don't put it in theaters. Just put it on like a Netflix or something and let them go wild with it.
yeah, but
that's what they should do
it's-
now.
Yeah, but it has such a cult following that they need to release it to theaters to make money. Like it has such a
Yeah.
cult following. Like I was not big into Five Nights at Freddy's, so I was kind of like, okay. I was like, oh, this will be a cool movie. No, because it's supposed to be rated R. That's even what the director said. It was supposed to be, and then they got cut down.
Yeah, every single character that dies in that movie, they have a death scene for that they didn't put in the movie. Every single one. They could put out a rated R version right now. It would be a significantly better movie. Like
100%.
But the issue is though, this keeps happening with I call it like children horror. It really isn't, but
Yeah.
it's like Five Nights at Freddy's will come out, and it's not for children, but people will go. Children would like it because it's that edgy next level horror.
Yeah.
Same thing. Fortnite kind of did the same thing where it's like, it's a shooter, it's whatnot. Like, kids didn't like it at first, but then once they did, then they'll start appealing it to kids. And it's like, well, no, the kids already were there. You already had the kid fan. Just keep doing what you were doing. But then they'll lose all their adult fans to try to keep kid fans who are growing out of the subject. Like Five Nights at Freddy's has now been around for 10 years. So
yeah, maybe even longer. Yeah, God, it's
been, so if you were an 8-year-old liking it, now you're 18, and as you were growing up, instead of the genre growing up with you, it's going in reverse order. It's trying to get younger and younger kids to like the show or like the games. That's like, and they do this. A lot of companies do this, and it makes no sense to me. Grow with your audience. Try to keep your audience like holding your hand the whole time. Instead, they'll always hit that point where it's like, well, fuck all the people who've been following us for 8 years. We have to appeal to the next generation, and they almost always fail.
Every single time they do. It never works out. Like, and plus, in general, video game movies suck. Like, there's very little good video game movies.
Very few.
Like,
Ready Player One was decent. The Mario Party.
That's not. I'm saying based directly off of a video game. Yeah, like
the Mario movie was good.
I thought it was shit, but I was expecting more. So maybe because I was expecting so high, I was like, "Damn, dude, this kind of sucks."
I expected it to be shit. So.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we came in with different expectations and had different outcomes. So.
Let's ask ChatGPT best video game movies. What do you think it's gonna say? I think it's gonna say number one is they're gonna give it to Mortal Kombat. Because everyone credits that as a decent like video game movie.
Silent Hill.
I might just put
Silent Hill is gonna be the top one. Silent Hill is the best video game 2 movie ever made. It's Silent Hill.
How do you feel about Detective Pikachu? Detective Pikachu, in my opinion, was good. As a Pokemon movie.
That's fair.
But Pokemon movies has always been decent. It's just
But no, I think the best video game 2 movie, Silent Hill, and that's probably not even on there.
It's not on here, but I agree with you. Silent Hill is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, and it's
So,
like it's from a video game.
did
Video
they
game's
make a
movie.
Resident Evil one too? I think the Resident
They,
Evil one was decent as
movies they
well.
made a bunch.
Yeah, I think one or two of them were well. No, Silent Hill, yeah, that has some Pyramid Head just works so well as a
Yeah,
like, but I think horror games can work as horror movies too, because
yeah,
the game has that horror of like, I have to do it. I have to be the one to open the door when that. And then as the
yeah.
movie, you're just watching someone else essentially play the game. Like, I think stuff like Evil Within would have been a really good movie as well. Or like you said, Silent Hill. It's the game is a lot of like puzzle solving and whatnot. You take that out and you just make the horror like the main aspect. It makes a good movie. Like,
Yeah.
but people can
Here's
do it. They just
yeah,
choose
there's
to
a
make
new-
shit movies.
Yeah, there's they're making. Do you remember the game Until Dawn?
Yeah, Until Dawn.
That
was
movie comes out in
fantastic.
a month or two.
So the
It looks
issue with
bad.
that, I'm going to immediately criticize it. The entire game is a movie. It's a choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
It's not even like a video
Yep.
game. Like, so
and it's not just like I thought they were gonna do like carbon copy. You know what I mean? Just straight up like pretty much just make a movie with live action people about the exact same stuff that happened. Just choose a path. You know what I mean? Like choose all the right answers or something.
essentially,
Because there is a canonic ending. Every game of those
Mhm.
has a like so if they make a second one they can tie it in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's completely different. They didn't cast any of the same people. I'm like, these are real people. They look the exact same. Like Rami Malek's character is Rami Malek. Like there is no like.
yeah, literally what you should do as a movie in like an Until Dawn movie, you take the same cast, you do roughly the same story with like a different twist in the middle, so that when people
Yeah.
are watching, they're like, oh, yep, we know him already. We know that he ends up being the killer, and then you do a different twist, and then all the people watching are like, oh wait, like this is a different than the game.
Or at least make it sound like it's a different. You know what I mean? Like even if it's
Yeah,
the
at
same
least-
story, but make it seem different. Like
Like I said,
But the
you're
Wendigos look
changing
good.
a.
yeah, the Wendigo
That's
looked
good.
good. It did look.
Yeah, I'll
good,
go
but
watch it. Like, but I'm a sucker for like horror movies
I'd love
already.
horror movies.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a horror movie bitch. But yeah, so we've been talking for about an hour on a day that we
Yep.
didn't have a lot of news. So
Yeah, we just kind of started rambling. Like there wasn't much going on.
hey, if politics isn't all that interesting for the week, we'll always be able to go back to pop
Yep.
culture. whatnot,
Yeah, that's
so-
why I think this is what the show is gonna kind of be. It's just gonna be what's going on, like
Mhm.
a little bit of everything. Like shout out to 100 Thieves. They won the Marvel Rivals Invitational. Won $100,000
Hell yeah.
last night.
Hell yeah. Dude, the second like I want like esports to be like more mainstream still. Like
Overwatch
I wanted to-
it was gonna do it, and then they was on Disney. They were airing it on Disney Channel. It was on TV,
Mhm.
and people were watching it. And then they had such big aspirations that it just couldn't keep going because like they had geolocations. They were flying players out to every game. They had minimum like they could have a minimum salary of 200 grand. Like these guys were making a lot of
Mhm.
money, and like there was so much regulation, which was good. But then it just died because they couldn't make enough money.
I feel like some of these like I'm going to use Valorant as the example
Yeah,
because I think
VCT 's great.
they have very good production to their stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
they do.
I can easily see that being like hey, advertise on TV a little bit and then like you can put commercials in their normal spots whatnot, but treat it like it's like a football game or something. Every once in a while
Yeah.
there's just hey, there's Valorant tournament online and then people could I don't know. I guess they get the viewers online anyway, so I get why they wouldn't go to TV.
Yeah.
And TV is kind of dying as is. So
Oh yeah, 100%.
but I do want to see it enter more of a. It's hard for me. I grew up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is gonna be posted on YouTube and a bunch of other like podcast sites, but YouTube is like my main thing. So to me, I'm like, okay, I want TV to be more like YouTube, but I guess that's just because in my mind, YouTube is superior to TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I don't know. Esports is kind of. I think Marvel Rivals might be able to kick it back up a notch. That and Valorant, they might be able to kick it up because right now Rivals is doing. They don't have any LAN tournaments. Like everything's online, which is good for a lot of people. But they're also making it so anyone can participate. Anybody. If you have a team, like you just need 6 people and you can compete in the MRC and compete against pro players. And if you win, you can win 100 grand. Like.
what they should do, like Marvel especially, if they want to make it more of a mainstream thing, they should be the one to do it because you would have a lot of people go like, well, I
Yeah.
watch the Marvel movies, let's watch these people play the game,
That's
and you
that's
might
what
get
Shroud
some
was
people
talking about
who
last night.
enjoy it.
He was like, you don't need to follow the game as much because you can be like, oh, cool, that's a character I know.
Mhm.
You know, like I know that's Wolverine. Like, oh, I know that's Groot. You know what I mean? Like, I know
Yeah.
them.
I'm like the only person not in the targeted audience because I'm like the only person who I don't care about movies at all. So I go watch.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know Spider-Man. I know the
Fucking hate
basics,
Spider-Man in that game.
but yeah, it's like I think so many people are appealed to that game because it's like, yeah, I get to play as the Marvel characters, and to me, that's the biggest turnoff. I'm like, I don't care at all. Like, I don't like watching the game. I don't like anything about the game, but I'm happy it's a big game. I'm happy
Yeah.
that people are enjoying it. But yeah, like I said, we've been going for over an hour now, so
Yep.
let's wrap it up, and we'll be back on Wednesday. Like I told you, I am happy to record this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday up until, like I said, unless I have a schedule change, which if so, we'll just change our release date schedules,
Yeah,
whatnot.
100%. Yep.